Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel again. They say that attending a practical session in a medical college is a skill. You can make the examiner ask exactly what you know. Likewise, studying for theory, remembering it, recalling it is also a skill. An entire topic can just be remembered with three diagrams, three lines, and one list. This is all that takes to remember an entire topic, and I am here to show how it's done. So we received a 25-day-old newborn in our NICU who presented with sepsis. Now we have seen a lot of cases with sepsis. Most of them present with shock, abdominal distension, etc. But this baby had multiple abscesses, and that is when we thought that the diagnosis is something else other than just sepsis. When we looked up in the books, there are multiple differential diagnoses for a baby presenting with abscesses. One of them is CGD, or chronic granulomatous disease. And today's topic for the discussion is chronic granulomatous disease. To begin with, we shall know the basics. Imagine this is a neutrophil and this is a phagolysosome that has been formed, and this is our bacteria that has been engulfed. Now, chronic granulomatous disease is a disease where there is defective killing. And why does this happen? For that, we should see how killing happens. Now, there is something known as NADPH oxidase complex, which has these three parts that is shown in the red, and one of the components is P47-FOX. And the other component is flavocytochrome complex, which has three parts, and the most important part is GP91-FOX. I want you to remember these two names, GP91-FOX and P47-FOX. Now, NADPH donates one electron and becomes NADP, 2 oxygen, and this oxygen becomes O2 minus. Now it is acted upon by superoxide dismutase to become hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide will further form hypochlorous acid and hydroxyl ions, which are the free radicals that destroy the bacteria. Now, chronic granulomatous disease occurs if there is mutation in any of these components. Most commonly, the mutations are seen in GP91-FOX and P47-FOX genes. Now, the mutations of GP91-FOX is inherited as X-linked, and P47-FOX is inherited as autosomal recessive. Now, these cases form for about 65% of the cases, and since it is X-linked, we know that males are being affected more. Now, I just taught you the epidemiology of the disease. Number one, males are more affected. Remembering the story I told you, the age at which the children present is either a neonatal age or an infantile age. Now, which bacteria are able to cause the infection in this disease? Those bacteria that can produce catalase. Remember, in this CGD, the hydrogen peroxide is not formed, but some bacteria do synthesize hydrogen peroxide, but even then the bacteria will not be killed by forming hypochlorous and hydroxyl ion, because those bacteria who are able to produce catalase lyse the H2O2 to form H2O and oxygen, and thus there is no killing of the bacteria. So what are these catalase producing organisms? Now, I told you that we have one list. The list is this, the list of organisms that produce catalase, and the mnemonic for this is SPACE, that is Staphylococcal aureus, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, two fungi, one is Aspergillus, second is Candida, and E stands for Enterobacter family consisting of Salmonella. Now, if you can remember these organisms, the clinical features and the infection they cause would be easy. There is just one organism I want you to remember, and it has a very peculiar name, Burkholderia cepacia, because the presentation with Burkholderia cepacia comes is that the infection will be a rapid progressive one, and the child tends to present directly in the shock phase. So that is one organism you should remember. Now let us see the clinical features of CGD. And now we see the second diagram. In this I am only explaining the whole disease process with just two diagrams. Number one, this is the diagram you have to focus on. Lungs can have pneumonia, so the child can have recurrent pneumonia. This is the skin, and there will be subcutaneous abscesses, liver abscesses, osteomyelitis of multiple joints, multiple bones. Now the disease has the name granulomatous illness. So where are the granulomas formed? The granulomas are formed in the pylorus of the stomach causing obstruction, ureter causing obstruction, and then it can cause granulomatous colitis similar to Crohn's disease. In fact, more than 80% of patients with CGD have Crohn's serology positive. Now the whole part of the disease can be derived from just these two diagrams and this list. Let us see how. Now the next part is, since the patient has recurrent infections and severe infections, they can have growth faltering, they can have hepatosplenomegaly, lymphadenitis, etc. We have seen introduction, epidemiology, etiopathogenesis, and clinical features with all of this, and the rest part is the management part, which consists of investigations and treatment. Now what we have left is the three lines that we are supposed to see. The three lines that I want you to remember in CGD is number one flow cytometry, number two hematic stem cell transplantation, number three interferon gamma. These are the three things that I want you to remember in CGD. Now let us see how the lab diagnosis of the disease is. Now the first line that I told you to remember is flow cytometry. Now that is the first investigation to be done. Now how do I derive something from the previous knowledge I have? Because it is X-linked and seen in males 65%, even mother can be detected whether she is having carrier state or not. Now this is an extra point in theory that you can write. Not just the babies, even mother flow cytometry can detect, and the knowledge is derived from our previous knowledge that it is X-linked recessive inheritance disease. Now the next part is, because this is an infection caused by the following organisms, cultures are important part of the investigation. Now when you get culture in CGD, the culture both from the biopsy site and from the blood tend to be negative, because although the organism is engulfed but it is not killed, unless the organism is present in heavy amount, they may not grow in the culture, and that is why the antibiotics duration is directed by ESR. The ESR will be usually 40 to 80 mm per hour, and then the antibiotics should be continued for at least 1 week after the sedimentation rate comes to normal. Now we have derived this from our previous knowledge. The treatment part is antibiotics. Now, from the list, we know that there are two fungal infections that can happen. Now, that is exactly why antifungal treatment should also be started in those patients who are not responding for antibiotics as expected. Now, we have seen that we have used an antibiotic depending upon the organism that is causing the infection, and antifungal like oriconazole when there is no improvement considering aspergillus infection. Now, this is the treatment part we have derived from the list, and prophylaxis part we have sulfamethoxazone and pyrimethamine combination as a prophylactic antibiotic while discharging the patient. Now we have given one prophylactic antibiotic, so we have to give a prophylactic antifungal as well, which is the itraconazole, which is given at a dose of 100 mg per kg. Right. The second line I told you to remember is hematopoietic stem cell transplantation, and this is the cure for chronic granulomatous disease. So the second line that we remembered is hematopoietic stem cell transplantation. The third line I told you to remember is interferon gamma. Now, trials have shown that interferon gamma by unknown mechanisms work in CGD. What about the rest of the investigations? We can derive it from this picture itself and the list itself, since we have chest infection, chest X-ray, liver abscesses, USG, and that can also pick up the pyloric stenosis, right? And then biopsy from the granulomatous sites, and then X-ray of the bones, wherever bones and joints, wherever the infection is suspected. So basically we have filled this column as well. Now, with just two diagrams, a list and 3 lines, we have completed chronic granulomatous disease. To hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, so every time I make your theory preparation easier, you get a notification. Now, what about the rest of the investigations? We can derive it from this